Frederick Augustus Washington was born February 1818 in Talbot County, Maryland. He was born into slavery of slave owner Aaron Anthony and a slave mother, Harriet Bailey. He lived with his maternal grandmother, Betty Bailey, until around the age of 8, when he was selected to work in a plantation house. After the death of his mother, Frederick was sent to Baltimore to live in the home of Hugh and Sophia Auld. Here, Sophia Auld taught Frederick the alphabets in secret, being that slaves were meant to be kept illiterate because literacy encouraged freedom. Throughout adolescence, he continued to develop his reading and writing skills. He read everything he could get his hands on and was particularly given to newspapers, the Columbian Orator to be specific. With the knowledge held, he taught other slaves to read, which caused a disturbance on the plantation. Because of so, he was hired out to a slave breaker who was unsuccessful with breaking him. After an initial unsuccessful attempt, he managed to escape slavery at age 20. With the assistance of a freed African-American woman, Anne Murray, he disguised himself as a sailor and boarded a train. Once escaped, Anna and Frederick reunited and later settled in New Bedford, Massachusetts in 1838. It was around this time that he also changed his last name to Douglass. Here, he became a licensed preacher, and in 1839, he joined a prominent black church. There, he regularly attended and participated in abolitionist meetings. This is also where he established his relationship with William Lloyd Garrison, a prominent abolitionist. Eventually, Douglass was asked to tell his story at an abolitionist meeting, after which he became a regular anti-slavery lecturer. In 1843, he traveled with the Anti-Slavery Society touring the Midwest. In 1845, he wrote his best-selling autobiography. Following the publishing, he traveled overseas to evade recapture. For 2 years, Douglass gave lectures in churches and chapels throughout Ireland and Britain, drawing large crowds. He was so inspirational, British supporters purchased his freedom from his American owner. In 1847, Douglass returned to the United States as a freeman and began publishing abolition newspapers: the North Star, Frederick Douglass Weekly, Frederick Douglass Paper, Douglass Monthly, and the New National Era. In 1848, he became an avid supporter of women's rights. By the time of the Civil War, Douglass was one of the most famous black men in the country. Douglass was appointed to several political positions after the war. President Lincoln conferred with Douglass on issues involving African Americans. Frederick Douglass was an author, government official, journalist, and civil rights activist. He is labeled as one of the most photographed American men of the 19th century and remains to be one of the most influential African Americans in history. If you enjoy watching our videos and would like to have a hand in creating them, click the Patreon link below to become a patron. Patreon is an online platform that allows users to support content creators in developing unique content. So go ahead, click that link, become a patron.